What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel again. I am Kyle with Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. We got a doozy here. This one here is a 1987 Yamaha YMF, whatever the heck they are, 350 Warrior. She's a little worse for wear. This guy had talked to me a couple years back when I had that other Warrior. I have a few videos on about buying this from him because he couldn't get it to run, could never get it started. He got it for his son just to go beat around on it at this place called Chadwick here in Missouri, and he never got it up and running, and it sat for years. And he called me up, I don't know, a week or so ago and said, hey man, you want to buy this thing from me? And I'm like, he sent me pictures, and I'm like, how much? He's like, $300. I'm like, no, I can't do that, unfortunately. $300 not gonna happen. Got up there and looked at it, and you guys can see it, chain has broke off before. It's got a little JB weld here. It seems like to be a typical problem on these Warriors. Broke the chain guard and might have cracked the case there. Don't know if it has a leak. I don't have any oil. There's no oil in it. I don't know if it has spark. You can see how tore up the seat is. But I think I gave him $200 for it. So what the objective there is with this one, we're not going to get crazy with this. All we're trying to do is make this thing run again. Make it run, turn around, sell it, so we can invest some more money into another project. You guys know we got a bunch of projects sitting around here at the shop. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this. I know, like I said, I know the seats tore up, but we're gonna go ahead and throw a battery in it, or maybe a battery charger. We'll check spark right off the flip to see what's going on there, and then we'll check compression and maybe do a leak down. But I know first we need to probably put some oil in this bad boy. Looks like it may be missing one, two, it's missing a couple screws out of the clutch side, and somebody had massive amounts of silicone to seal that back up. So we'll see if that actually holds oil or not. This may be a part out project. The bad part is that I actually had if it doesn't have spark, it's good possibly it's a source coil, because sometimes the source coils of these go out. And I had one, but when I sold the other Warrior, I gave the other parts motor away and all that other stuff I had, because I just had it sitting here all these years, and now I could probably use it, but hey, that's the way it goes. So let's jump into this thing. Let's check that spark on it real quick, and let's check compression, and let's throw some oil in it and see what we can find out. All right, guys, so I got the body work off. This cover was already loose to check the timing on it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and just check the timing right now anyways. So let's just throw this up here and just see what we can figure out. See if we can feel any compression here. Should be coming right about here. That's the fire mark, and that's the timing mark. So timing looks good. That looks really good, but definitely did not feel like any compression. So we know timing's good, and we'll put that cover back on here real quick. The O-ring looks a little flat, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Let's go ahead and throw this cover back on here. So we know timing's good. That's good. Valve clearances, couldn't tell you. Don't know, don't care. At the moment, we'll check for spark first. So let's come over here to the other side. We'll get the spark plug out of here. Actually, we may not have to. Yeah, we'll pull the spark plug next and see if we got spark. All right, so we got the spark plug out. You're gonna love this. So they have a push start button tied in back to the back here because the starter relay is probably out. Right across that of my other one. So let's see, the key should be on, should be in the proper position. So let's hit this button, see if we got spark. Oh yes, we got great spark. That is awesome. So since we know we got spark, let's go ahead and do a compression check, and then we'll do a leak down. All right, remember, like in some of my other videos, compression check, we're gonna make sure the Schrader valve's in there. And the compression checking kit that I have, I got years ago for Cornwell, it is part number KA-2506. Shown us some other videos in the past. So we're gonna go ahead and put on our adapter right here. I had to shave this down. Whenever that video gets up with the Articat DVX 300, you'll see why. But we'll twist that on there nice and tight. And then We'll thread it, spark plug hole. Grab our compression gauge, slap her on here. So we'll set it at an angle like this, point you guys back down there, flip up my battery, throttle wide open, and here we go. Well, you can see we're at a whopping 60 pounds. Once we put a little bit of load onto this motor, it definitely does not have the power to turn it over. Of course, I'm running, jumping the battery, so let's try again. Throttle wide open. So we see again, we're at 60 pounds of compression, so we know that's no good. So let's go ahead and do it. We'll put it back on top dead center. Time that back up top dead center. We'll throw a leak down tester on here and see where we're leaking from. All right, let's throw this old junky leak down tester on here real quick. Like I said, I don't care what it reads, I'm just listening. So we're gonna go ahead and slowly turn it up. I can hear intake and exhaust. So I'm gonna walk around the other side and spin it over by hand because we are on top dead center. And see what we get when we rotate this, if we can get it to be a little quieter here. Because it shows top dead center on the, but that's intake and exhaust. Valve clearances could be wrong, so let's go ahead and see what happens here. Coming back up to compression stroke. Now back up top to compression stroke. So I think our next step, guys, I can still hear it pouring out, is to check the valve clearances in the front cylinder, or the front cylinder on the intake and exhaust. And I'll let you guys know what those specs are here. All right, guys, so I got the specs on the valve clearances here. Clearances are on the intake is 0.06 through 0.1 millimeters, which is basically 2,000ths to 4,000ths with it, which is 0.002 through 0.004. Exhaust is going to be 0.16 through 0.2 millimeters, which is 6,000ths through 8,000ths, which is 0.006 through 0.008. Again, if you can see my other videos, these are my valve lash gauges that I use right here. I'll leave a link down in the description for you guys. I got them from Parts Unlimited, but you can also get them off of Amazon. And then, of course, you guys have seen these guys here before. My Tappet adjusters, again, I'll leave a link down in the description. You can follow that for an affiliate link that'll help me out. And I got these on Amazon also, come in very, very handy. So I'm gonna jump up here and we're gonna go ahead and check the intake and exhaust valve here real quick. I'm just gonna do that off camera. That way I don't have to switch mounts so I can get you guys up here. So I'm gonna check that and I'll let you guys know what I find out. All right, so we found here, like I said, this is supposed to be 2 to 4 thousandths. It was right at 4, but I adjusted it to 3. And then this one here was almost a 10 thou. So I adjusted it back down to 7 thousandths. So we can go ahead and put a compression tester in there one more time to see if we can get the compression to come up, but we may have an issue with the valves on this thing. Actually, I'm gonna throw a leak down tester back on, not a compression tester. Leak down tester on there again to see what kind of sounds we get. It could just be, take the head off and the valves could just be full of carbon and stuff. So we can definitely check that. And this exhaust is coming apart anyways. There's nothing holding it together. So that'd be easy to take off, pull this head, no big deal. So let's throw a leak down tester on this again and see what we get. All right, so let's go ahead and pop this back on there real quick and let's see what kind of sounds we get again. Which I think we're gonna have the same issue because just those valves a couple thou, it didn't really affect it all. Yeah, I can hear it blowing right out. that intake. Let me check the exhaust here. Blowing out the exhaust. Let's go, I'm gonna go over from this side here. We'll check the crankcase, which if it's coming out the crankcase, it'll come right back out up here. So it's coming out of there too. So let's, man, what do we wanna do here? What do we wanna do? Should we pull the head on this thing? See what's going on? Honestly, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go ahead and pull the head on this and see what's going on and see what we can figure out. All right guys, so here we are now, getting ready to, we got all the carburetor off, we got the bolts out, gotta break the last couple head bolts loose here, which honestly, they are not very tight at all. This one over here was loose. This one here was a little bit tight, but I guess as we can see, the lower motor mounts, motor's not tight either. Lower motor mount. All right, like I was saying before, my battery just went dead. Get that O-ring out of the way. None of the head bolts are really tight. You guys can see the motor's not even really tight in here either. So let's go ahead and pull, we're gonna pull these head bolts out here real quick. We'll grab a swivel, 14 swivel real quick, and we'll pull those suckers right out. It's not hooked up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. There we go, get all four of those. Gather up a few tools here, get them out of the way. We'll go ahead and pull our bolts out. I thought they had washers. Yeah, there's one. I remember my other motor from that 2000 I had. I was like, I'm pretty sure it had washers in it. Well, that whole head's just coming right off like it's nothing. Two. I'm pretty sure somebody's been in this thing because, like I said, nothing's very tight. There's a lot of silicone everywhere. Definitely didn't want to go this far on this motor, but what can you do sometimes, you know? Let's drop this guy back down. Spark plugs down here. There went a dowel pin. You can see, yep, you can see where the valves were smashing into the head or to the piston. So somebody had cam timing wrong at one point in time, and all the valves were smashing into the piston. So we're gonna say those are most likely bent. Boy, if we can get this thing out of here like this. There we go. Oh yeah, somebody smacked that thing good. You can see that right there. Valve has hit that thing like crazy. Like crazy. Looks like they have the piston in the correct direction, which is good. Kind of rare you see that. But let's check these. These don't look too bad. The timing chain guides don't look bad. Let's take a walk over here, check out the valves. So what it looked like, it almost looks like at one point in time somebody put that piston in backwards when they rebuilt it. So we'll definitely have to pull the valves out here real quick. We'll take a look at that. We're gonna go ahead and pull that cylinder up to get a look at the cylinder and the rings on that. So let's go ahead and mount you guys right back here. I gotta break loose that guy there. And that should be the only one. The 5mm Allen. Yeah, we're gonna pull this cylinder off. Why not? We're here. Let's just do it. That way we can just check the crank too, find out if it's even worth doing anything with, or we're just gonna part it out. All right, so I don't know if I can't really get you guys in here any better with the equipment I have, so we're just gonna go ahead and lift this thing off. We're gonna rotate it back down. The cylinder doesn't look too bad, but I wanna make sure the rings aren't sticking. Definitely could use a new base gasket. There's the O-ring that goes around that guy. Cylinder could definitely use a quick little ball hone. Put some cross hatchings back in there. You can see it must have sat for a while. You can see where I don't know if you can see that or not. You can see where the oil ring had sat there for a while. So throw a ball hone in here. Put some new cross hatchings in that. Let's go on and take a look. Let me grab a magnet and get that cam chain back out. So I can spin this motor over. Cam chain doesn't feel too bad. Let's get this piston back up to TDC. Should be right about there. Compression ring and the scraper ring don't feel bad. Now the oil ring, on the other hand, it's completely stuck. It's not going anywhere. So no up and down play in the rod, no side to side, so that's really good. So you can see cam chain's just pouring oil off of it, just sitting down in there in the crankcase. So let's go ahead and take the valves out of this head and see what we got. All right, got the head up here on the lift, or not on the lift, but on my bench now. We're gonna go ahead and take out these 210s here. And what we'll need to do next, after we get all these out, we'll have to, I could tell somebody's been in here, we'll have to get our slide hammer. We'll go ahead and spin in 2 of those. I think they're a 6mm by 1/0 bolt. I believe I have one welded to something already. I could be wrong. It's been a little bit. I can put a link for my slide hammer down in the description also. This one I just picked up from Amazon. All right, I could not find my adapter for my slide hammer for this, so I had to improvise. I'm using my crankcase splitter with the 6mm by 1/0 and that. So we'll just go ahead and do this. Let's see if I can get these bad boys to pull on out like this, which I should be able to. I've had a bearing puller kind of the same way. Basically all we're doing is pulling the pin out, which these things have been out before. I can see that they're kind of beat up. All right, let's try our next one. That one's coming out, that one's pretty far out. And no problem with this one too. That one's coming right out also. No issues at all. Just a little time consuming doing it this way. I wish I had my slide hammer. I could just slid and pop them right out. Guys, so let's come out. The intake Tappet rocker arm looks really good. This actually does too. Like I said before, the only issue is that it's a little boogered up here where somebody tried to knock it in at one point in time. Now I got to try to get out the exhaust rocker arm, but the actually rocker arm shaft looks really good. Just got to get this lined up and twist sideways a little bit, come out. Got a little bit of a wear mark on it, but not bad. And the inside of that looks really good. So I improvised, I made it work, that's what counts. So now we're gonna grab the, that one thing that does that, the valve spring compressor. Man, I cannot think. Valve spring compressor, and pop these valves out and see if they're bent. All right, so what I have here, this is from Fly. This is your valve spring compressor. Not a bad little kit. Had it for a while. I am missing one, I think. I don't remember if I'm missing one or not. But anyways, it goes from 16 millimeter, 25, 20, 19, 23, 25, and 30. Can't remember if there's more or not. Let's see what it says on here. Yeah, 19, 6.5. Yeah, in between. So you just basically, nice little kit. So let's grab her out of here. I'll try to get you guys a decent angle again, like I said before, kind of in a crappy one. So let's find probably going to be about the 30 millimeter for this guy. Yeah, pretty much 30. And we're going to go ahead and lean up on its end. I don't know if it'll be, put you guys up here a little bit. Spin this in here. This will rest on the bottom of the valve. We got enough room. Spin this one back a little bit more. This one out a little bit more. That way we can back off the compressed valve here a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put that there. We'll spin this into the center of the valve. And what we'll do, we'll compress the spring. Since I don't have one that exactly the right size for these, because these are pretty large for this valve spring compressor. I use them mostly on motorcycles. So we'll get it close to center as we can. Compress it down, pop the keepers on it loose. We'll grab a magnet here. All right, got our magnet. Pull these guys out. There's one. There's two, and I specifically bought ice trays from Amazon the other day. It's gonna be a little loud, but I use ice trays when I do my valves and stuff, especially like on a inline 4, because you can put cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, intake, exhaust, however you want to line it up, and you can label that so you know they all go right back into the same spots they came out initially. I got a little 4-pack for like, I don't know, $7 on Amazon. I can put a link in the description for that, but it just helps keep track of the valves a little bit easier. We know that one's the intake, so we'll drop those there. We're gonna go ahead and back this up a little bit here. Take that off. Get our valve spring, their inner and outer. And then you have the, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the darn thing. But anyways, got our intake valve. Set that here, and we'll do the same thing on the exhaust valve now. Just rotate this over. Set it up here, hold it in place. If I can. This one is being tough. I guess I need to buy a bigger compressor adapter for this thing, because it does need to go bigger. But anyways, if I can get it to pop down, I might not be able to. This might be the problem we're running into with a bent valve. Man, yeah, I can't get that one to pop down. Holy smokes. Let's try try again. I'm gonna hold it right here with both hands. There it goes. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was on there pretty good. It should never have been like that. That kind of worries me. All right, gonna keep going down a little bit further. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. Hopefully I didn't pull it out of your view, but it finally popped loose. One of the valve keepers there, or cotter keys, pins, whatever cotter. And then we'll back it back off again. Valve springs, plural, inner and outer. And drop this valve out. Let's take a look at the head real quick. From what I could tell, I'm gonna have to get in here close with my magnifying lens here to kind of get a good look at this thing. So what I end up doing, I'll use this guy to kind of look at the valve guide, or valve guide seals. The valve guides, got a broken valve guide in the head on this one. It might have been replaced at one point in time. And I think the intake valve is bent. It's got two, yeah, it's pretty nasty all the way around. I don't know if you guys can see all that. We'll put some light on it for you. But way deep down inside here, that valve guide has been broke. The head's broke, unfortunately. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do from here, but let's go ahead and check the valves anyways. I don't know if it's gonna be, it can cause an issue down the road, but it is an 87. I'm not sure if somebody tried to replace that and screwed up, or when that valve broke, it jammed up in there and hit that. But again, I don't know if you can see that. Let me move this out of the way, get some light over here. But down in here on the intake, right, if I get my finger in there, right there, you can see it's broke on the head. Well, let's check these valves real quick. We'll throw them in a drill, spin them around, and then I'll sit down and make some decisions about what I'm gonna do on this thing next, because I'm not sure what I want to do. I didn't want to put a bunch of money into an 87 because they're not worth much money at all. I might be able to get a salvage head from a friend for an older one if he has it, a little red shed. Good friend of mine has been doing part salvage on ATVs for about 30 years. He's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of quads there to take apart, and thousands, tens of thousands of parts are ready to ship on eBay. Check out their eBay store at LSR on eBay, Little Red Shed. Great people. So let's see what we get here in a second. All right, guys, so we grabbed our drill. Look, we're gonna take our exhaust valve. Just gonna throw it in our drill real quick, and we're gonna spin it. Pretty symmetrical. All right, let's take our intake valve, let's throw it in here, see what's going on with that. Doesn't look bent either. So, kind of concerning why we all that blow by. It just could not be, may not be sealing right on here. So, yeah, from what I could tell, somebody's gone in here and bored this out at one point in time and put a, I just see that around the edge. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean all the debris and stuff off, all the carbon off of the valve seats, and see if we can't get a better seal on this thing. All right, guys, so basically what I do, I have this is a 400 grit little polishing ball. You guys can see that. I'll just put that at the end of my drill, and I went around on the valve guide seal, just really lightly, really quick. Make sure I didn't take any material away, cause any issues on that. But basically what happened now, what I found, you can see where a valve hit here on the valve seat there, and over here, all over the place. Down here, the exhaust valve seat looks good, but the intake one is beat up pretty bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this, grab one of these valves right here. We'll throw it in the drill. We're gonna go ahead and spin it and clean it up right here. Put a little WD-40 on that. just to clean it up and get a good look at the face to see if we can find anything wrong with this. But I think what happened, I think somebody probably changed the valves after they had that issue, whoever it was. This valve, this intake valve looks really good. I don't see any pitting, any guttering at all. Nothing where it hit. So this must be a replacement valve. And then let's go ahead and do the exhaust. Like I said, the exhaust seat looks good. All right, you can see me here. My mic went dead, so basically I'm just cleaning off the exhaust valve with some Scotch-Brite and some WD-40 in my drill. Just cleaning all the carbon off of it. Got to take a look to see what the valve face looks like, where it seats against the head. Looking at it, there's no pitting, there's no guttering, there's no flouring of the valve. So everything looks pretty good here. So I'm just going to go ahead and set it down and then jump into the end of this video. I have no idea where it cut me off at, but the head's damaged. I was showing all that. I'll voice over all that as I'm going through it. And let me know what you guys think I should do down below. If you think I should buy a head for this thing and fix it because it's not worth much, or if I should just send it down the road, put it up for sale, see if somebody needs the parts. Again, guys, got any questions about motorcycles, ATVs, or UTVs? I went all over that jive, so I'll just voice over that when you guys see this video. And we'll figure out what we're gonna do with it. Catch you guys on the next upload. See ya.